guys, welcome back to another bolt action manoeuvres. Thought I would do it downstairs for a change because I seriously need to get this Sherman tank out there, get that built. So I thought, well, let's do a bolt action manoeuvres. I haven't done one for a while. Let's open this up, see what we got here. Transfers. Okay. Excuse me one moment. Back again. Sorry, that's just a post arriving. So yeah, that's the assembly instructions and some promotional stuff. So I'm going to try and assemble a tank today. Get this underway. I should change the blade in this knife, it's getting a bit blunt there. Okay. Sprues are looking good anyway. Put that there. Yeah, looks pretty nifty. Obviously I've got to do the mould lines, but so I'm not going to bother with anything that you won't see underside. Well, stuff that gets glued on top of stuff probably won't be that bothered about. So what have we got here then? Well, we'll start with clipping that out. A and B. A is number 11 on the sprue, so that's this one. There's a lot of these resin tanks around, and I haven't. People have, you know. But when I go to do it myself or get them myself, they only seem to be in plastic form. You know, I don't mind. I'll do A and B at the same time, as the Americans say, simultaneously. Okay, so we got those out there. We'll need the tracks 2 and 7. 2 and 7, this is for A. This is 2, this is the bottom one. 7 will be the one on the top. As you can see, I've got my rule book with me. I thought we could go through some rule stuff as well, like we do in bolt action manoeuvres. Now, last time we just went through that table there, and there's modifiers for targeting soft cover. So we go on to roll to damage. So sorry if you've already done this bit. So roll to damage. I take it I've mentioned that bit there. Pick all dice that scored a hit and roll them again to see if the target suffers damage and takes casualties. The score needed to inflict a casualty depends on the damage value of the target as shown in the table overleaf. That seems fairly easy enough. We have included damage values for vehicles, including tanks, to give an idea of relative values. That might be a little bit of a grey area. Unless it says specifically on the model stuff. Heavy weapons add a modifier to the damage roll, allowing for a score of greater than 7. This is described in detail in the section on weapons, page 43, which we haven't come to yet. Regardless of any modifiers that apply, a roll of a 1 on a die is always a failure. Okay. And then it's got the damage value table. It's got troops and soft-skinned targets. For instance, inexperienced infantry or artillery, the result needed is a 3+. This is for damage. Regular infantry or artillery is a 4+, and a veteran infantry or artillery is 5+. All soft-skinned vehicles are 6+, and it's got like armoured stuff, light tank, medium tank, heavy tank, super heavy tank. And it just goes into them. And it will talk about cover next, so let's get back to the model. Sip of coffee, which is always good. battery looks a bit low. So what I'm going to do is do the first bit, and then I'm going to go and plug it in, which I should have done first. Okay, so let's just get the other bits that we need here. For A, I need 9, which is this one. 9 and 23. 223, so I'm guessing they're both the same. No, it's not one thing, it's another, isn't it? Either the post arriving, or battery going, or something. Alright, so how does this work then? So presuming, would these go first? Sorry, I'm just looking at what would go where on the model. That's cool. Looks like there's only one way for that to go. Excellent. We'll have some of that then. Can only go one way. I love things that can only go one way. Oh, finicky stuff here. Finicky stuff and me don't work well together. And typical of me, I've got a glue which has been particularly awkward here because I haven't used plastic for a while. Nope. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to stop and sort this out, otherwise I'm not going to be able to carry on, which is a good opportunity for me to go and plug in my camera, so I can be right back to you. Yeah, that's all bunged up with something. Alright guys, I'm going to go and get a plug for my camera, sort this glue situation out, and I'll be right back. Hi guys, back again. Sorry for that. Another interruption. Sometimes you ever get that feeling you're just not meant to do something? I do. Anyway, sorted the glue situation out. Now, we'll try again. Get a glob of glue on here. Just have to make a phone call as well, see. There, that's better. Now, I've really got to build up my bolt action stuff. You know, there's no excuses. Well, I shouldn't have any. A little bit of a detritus on the edge of that wheel there, can't have that. So what was I saying? If you don't see, you probably won't see that at all. That goes there. Weather's been funny ass as well, because it's been, we've had a few nice days and then all of a sudden it's like gone all weird. Like overcast and then a little bit sunny, and I don't know what the heck he wants to do. Oh, is this the same both ways? I hope it is. Tank tracks. At least with a resin, some of these resin kits are already done, and you know they're part of the mould, and it's kind of easier, I think. I'll sort this now. A bit of yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's a bit easier. I definitely need to sort out my Americans. I've got another unit of Americans to put together, actually. So I'm thinking it's going to go like that, or something like that. And this is going to go something like that. Maybe if we put these on first. I did actually get an alternative tube of glue down just in case I couldn't sort this one out, you know. So I reckon I put this one on first. Bottom track's going on first, guys, on this Sherman. I think it'll be darn sight easier. Right. Yeah, so what else? Got the rule book there, we can plough through these rules. I have played bolt action now, but obviously I want to start using my own guys and all that kind of thing. So on to that. We're talking about cover in the rules here now. Just want to wait for this to dry. Cover. In situations where most of the shooters in the firing unit can draw a clear line of fire to most of the models in the target unit, then no modifiers are applied for cover. Cool. Doesn't matter if cover obscures a few models in the target unit, so long as the majority of the shooters can clearly draw a line of fire to the majority of the target, no modifiers for cover apply. Seems to be trying to simplify things in this rule set, which I'm all for. Majority of targets obscured by terrain or other models. Well, and if the majority of the shooters in the firing unit cannot draw a clear line of fire to the majority of the models in the target unit, then the enemy is in cover. If the target is in cover, it is more difficult to hit, either by a -1 or -2 on the dice. Cover is most likely to take the form of vegetation such as hedgerows or trees, or something more solid like rubble, wreckage or ruins. In other situations, the presence of other units, whether friends or foes, obscures a portion of the target, making it harder for the shooters to draw a line of fire. Majority of targets within the terrain. A scattering of tree models, tumbled ruins, rocks and such like is assumed to stand for a fairly dense tangle of woodland, rubble or rocky outcrop, which is impractical to represent literally on the battlefield. It is enough that we know a wood is a wood, and we can easily imagine the tangle of undergrowth from closely packed tree trunks. For practical purposes, we assume that a unit is always in cover if the majority of its models are inside a wood or comparable area of terrain. It is convenient to assume all models whose bases touch the wood, etc. are within it, as this avoids any uncertainty in the case of troopers who may be partly inside. Yeah, so as long as you're just like on touching the terrain of trees, like you've got like a modular terrain or something, then you're in it. Shooting through terrain from cover. For the reasons outlined above, we also assume that where shooters draw a line of fire through woodland, over tumbled ruins, rocky outcrops, walls, hedges, or other comparable terrain. You've got to watch that words like that, comparable terrain. What's comparable? At a target beyond, then the target counts as in cover. If the majority of the target models can only be shot at over or through such terrain. Where troops are firing from directly behind a wall or similar obstacle, or from the edge of a wood, or a target that is otherwise in the open, no penalty is applied on account of the wall, strict wood, etc. etc. Come on guys, need to be more specific. Models count as behind a wall when they touch it. Models count as at the edge of a wood when the opposition is touching its boundary. This simply recognises that troops can take up good firing positions from along the edge of a wood or behind a wall and shoot without the wood or wall itself getting in the way. Not sure? Question mark. In the vast majority of cases it will be obvious enough whether the target is in cover or not. However, sometimes it might not be so easy to make a judgment, either because the situation is very marginal or because it might be impractical to get the necessary model's eye view. To quickly resolve situations where it is otherwise impossible to make a clear judgment, simply roll a die to decide. On a roll of 1, 2 or 3 the target is in cover, on a roll of 4, 5 or 6 the target is not in cover. Yeah, see, I'm not keen on that. I've got myself a little line, one of those laser pointer things. You can get them for a couple of quid. That's that, on eBay. Free postage. Just get yourself one of those. Soft or hard cover? Soft cover describes the sort of concealing cover that makes a target hard to pick out but does not necessarily offer much in the way of physical protection. This includes woodland, hedgerows and other vegetation such as leafy undergrowth and fields or tall crops. It includes friendly infantry units, artillery or soft skins if these partly obscure a target and make it harder to see. Camouflage nets or mesh designed to conceal a target from plain view would also count as soft cover. Soft cover can also include fences and light wooden barricades or similar constructions. Hard cover describes the kind of cover that offers real physical protection as well as a degree of concealment. This includes stone, brick, concrete or similarly substantial walls or ruins, rocky outcrops, foxholes, ditches and trenches or sandbags, defences. It also includes armoured vehicles that partially obscure the target, whether friends or foes. Before the game begins, it is important that the players rate the terrain according to type and decide for themselves what amounts to soft and hard cover. Yeah, I think in this kind of thing you've got to use common sense, you know, for a lot of it. There's a lot of ambiguity with some of these descriptions here. And for like wargaming purposes, I think games like this, people tend to want more clear-cut rules. That's just my experience. Things like Warhammer and so forth, it's not so bad. Players tend to be more, I don't know, yeah, okay then, and not need the hardcore explanations so much, you know, the definitives. Things like bolt action, I think you need to be a bit more precise and stuff. I think just at the end of the day, I think because it's designed to be a skirmish game, it is, and it is really, isn't it? Well, they're trying to escalate it and so on, but it is designed to be a skirmish game. At the end of the day, I think you've got to use your common sense. You know, otherwise you're just opening up a whole can of worms there. Particularly if you're in a tournament. Right, so that's 1 done. Now we're going to move on to B. Okay, so what things do we need to click on that? Well, we need the other tracks, obviously. Like 3 and 6. So 3 is the bottom one. So it makes sense. Put the bottom one on first again. That seems to be the way it goes on best. Never having done one of these, but that just seems to be the way it is. That's on top. Don't need any more on that screw. So we need 23 for the wheel at the back, which is this one. Number 12 or number 10. It's clearly, oh yeah, 12. Oh, excuse me guys, phone's ringing. Alright, back again, another interruption. Sorry about that, that's just my wife phoning. Right, so we've done the 2 bottom bits of the track sections now. So they're dry. Now I've got to do this bit here. So we need to clip out number 1. Yeah, it'd be good to get this tank up and running and painted. As you know, I hate painting tanks. Okay, so number 1. Anything else on that side? I don't think. Let's check. this sprue here now. 27, so we need that. 27, 24. And this is the bits it's telling you to cut out. So 2 of these. 24, 18 and 19. Oh my word. Really? Serious? Are you serious? Alright. Yep. Well. So a quick squiz at which way round this goes. Guys, do you want to be on video that badly? I know you do. Sorry about that, guys. Dog's just telling me someone's walking by outside, or some other such atrocity. Right, so how does this go on then? Thinking it goes on like that. That's what I'm thinking. Which looks like a reasonable assumption. Right, okay. Put that on there. Alright. You might weigh this one down with a few pennies as well. Did that to my other tank. Just give it a bit of weight, you know. Yeah. That's on there. And it looks like right, okay. So that Cromwell tank I did, that was really fiddly. That was probably the most fiddliest model I've ever done. So this isn't too bad in comparison. Just seeing a bit of stuff I need to get rid of there. These little files are great. I got these from China. Well, obviously I didn't go to China to get them. I just ordered them off of eBay. You know, like jewelry making files or something like that. So, yeah, they're cool. They're really cool. So, gonna ramble on a bit about some various stuff as well whilst we're doing this. Coming back to the rules. Try and keep it bolt action related though. When I did go to Sloot, there was an immense amount of bolt action stuff there. I didn't actually come away with any though, surprisingly enough. I'm trying to branch out to other areas, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure which way around these go. I think they go that way around. I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah, I think it goes that way around, does it? Or does it? See that? say it's definitely that way around. It's just that yeah, I'm gonna chance it. I think that's the way around it goes. That's the way around I think it goes. It's going that way around now, chaps. Yeah, I didn't come away with any bolt action stuff because I was loaded down with so much other stuff. To be honest, time got away from me so much. It's probably a good thing that it did. Otherwise I'd have been bankrupt by the time I finished. I spent an insane amount of money. I shouldn't have done, but well, it's done now, isn't it? But I had a good time, you know, a real good time. I can ramble on more about that in other videos, maybe on the bench. This is essentially an on the bench video, but it's geared for bolt action, so that's the way we'll do it. I got that rubber now, rubber matting, which I'm going to use to try and make some roads. Yes, roads. So I've got a river. 18 and 19. These 18 and 19 things here. Just trying to see where. Right, 19 goes on the left. I can't actually see any difference in these. I think they go there. What way round would they go? It's like a sort of like a link or a chain type thing. I did one tank once and I just couldn't go like, it's too fiddly. I don't know why they, to goodness they don't just put this on as part of the mould, because sure they could. Right, so 19 goes on the left. I hate it when you're doing a model where you think you should be using tweezers, because I don't really do tweezers. Don't get on with them, you know. Well, that's 19. Let's do 18 now. Sorry about this, guys. I just gotta get these on. Oh, come on, stay. Oh, come on. Yeah, I think that's it. It's a bit of a fine tuning here. God. Well, now we can mess around with this bit. This is the top section. So there we are. I haven't done a Q&S in a while as well. Might be overdue for that. Right, anyway, so that's number... What number was that? Number 8? Yeah, number 8. Just cut out number 8. Put that to one side for a moment. That's going to be going on. Yeah. Okay. Number 15. Oh, well, that's 5 and 4. 4 and 5. Yeah, they go on as well. More about that in a moment. Alright, number 15. Let's get that one out of the way. Which I think is this one here. Just a stubby little machine gun type thing. And I don't think it matters what way around it goes, as long as it's in the square. That's what I think. Now, you go in that square there. There in the square. I think that's right. So that machine gun is there. So what else? Number 30. You know, these are really fiddly bits here. Fiddly bits. Number 30. Laugh, yeah. Oh, what the hell is that supposed to be? I mean, what the... Oh, this is ridiculous. Right, number 30. Piece I'm supposed to glue on next. It's that. I mean, what the hell is that supposed to be? I can't even work out what way on it's supposed to go, you know. Well, I don't know what it is, so I just don't know. Go that way around. All that way around. Oh, hang on a minute. Maybe it goes that way around. Yeah, I think I've worked out what way round it goes. Which is something. This glue must be running out. Good though, Revel glue. Recommend it. I see now. Okay. Some kind of light. That's what it is. Yes, some kind of light. Yeah. So we need another number 30. Where were they? They're kind of small. Oh, yeah. Those are light. Why couldn't you have the lights on already? That's what I just don't understand. Uh-oh. I've knocked something off. No doubt I'll find out what that is at some point. Try and get these off as carefully as you can. But inevitably, there's always something you just can't help avoid, but you know, not to avoid. Sorry, I'm muttering a bit there. Sometimes I do that, I talk to myself, I mutter. Don't mean anything by it. Oh, this is going to be challenging. Yeah. Okay, so let's try it. I know some of you out there like the smaller scales and whatnot, but I kind of like the larger scale. I find that quite appealing, especially on the tanks, although I can't paint them very good. I like to see the detail. On the model. Who doesn't like a good tank, right? Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to weight this baby down with a few pennies. So I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to get some super glue and super glue some coins in there to weigh it down. So back in a tick. Well guys, so we're back. I've glued some coins into the centre of this bottom section, like I said I was going to, which makes it feel a lot more substantial now. I've added all the little bits on to the top section. I'm just going to glue this to the bottom section. So it's going to work out. Alright, so that goes. Right, okay. So we're just going to glue this here, like so. Well, you can probably hear my tumble dryer on in the background, or you might be able to anyway. So apologies for that. I will turn that off in a moment. Let's get some of this glue here. I like these glue sticks with the pointy nozzles. Can't beat them. Just making sure I have got all the edges there. Right. So should go off something like this. Like that. The bottom section of the tank then. All I've got to do is it's the main body, so I've just got to do the turret now. So this coming off quite quick. Assemble, yes, so far. These open hatches and closed hatches. Do I want an open hatch or do I want a closed hatch? I think we'll go for closed on tanks. I prefer it's nice to have the odd one, but at this stage I haven't got many tanks, so yeah. So number 34, which is this section. So we'll just tidy this one up a bit. Excuse me a moment. Sorry about that, the tumble dryer was annoying me. I can't have outlined the background. Like I say, it's been one of those start-stop videos today, guys. That just happens sometimes, you know. Things get in the way. And stuff. Right, so we're looking for closed hatches 21 and 22. Where are you? Right here. This is 21, which is on the left. 22 on the right. Yeah, we'll have a closed hatch on that baby. Yeah. We certainly will. Bum, 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 bum. Right, so taking that there, some glue in here. Great thing about plastic glue is you've got plenty of drying time, wiggle time, and all that other kind of good stuff, you know. Unlike super glue, of course, where you haven't. Why is that one there? I suppose it's supposed to be there. Right, just get yourself in there. Excellent. Alright, looking good. Looking good. Okay. Now I want the gun. 13 and 14, the ammunition magazine. Right, so there's the gun. Number 14. It's pretty cool. Just tidy that up a bit. Alrighty, so we'll be in good shape once we get this tank up and running. Once I get this tank painted, I think I can run a small game myself. And you know, I mean small, I do mean small. Because the starter box doesn't really have enough in it to run a decent game. But you can do a small skirmish, just to get your head around the rules, which I think is all it's designed for, really. These starter boxes, they're not designed to give you a starting army that you can go out there and take on the world with, you know. They're designed for you to be able to run through the rules. Okay, so that's there, and that goes into there. Right, so the magazine simply glues into the side of the gun. That's cool. Right. According to this, it goes this way. That's good. Now, this must go behind the hatch. A blob of glue in the appropriate compartment. That's odd how it's behind. You think it'd be in front of the hatch, wouldn't you? Personally. So I can't quite work that out. Yeah, you'd think it'd be, unless people stand on the back behind it or something. I don't know. I don't know how it worked. I'm not a historian. Do you know what I mean? It's the turret. It's the hatch that opens according to the instructions, and this is the gun goes behind it. We think the gun would be situated in front, so that the person can come out and then fire that way, because the turret's going to be here, the main gun. Just makes sense. Unless it's designed to shoot backwards, in which case, why is it positioned that way? Oh, who knows? Who knows? Blah blah blah. Remove pins. Lens. Things are only used for open hatches. Okay then. I will do that. Right, must be time. Let's do a few more rules here, because we're nearly done on this. Okay. Alright then. Ambush. When a unit has been placed in ambush, so if you select the ambush thing on the dice, you want one of your units to be do an ambush, it is scanning the field waiting for the target of opportunity, resolving ambush fire. Units that are in ambush can interrupt any advance or run made by any enemy unit to shoot at it. The ambushers can interrupt at any point during the move, before, during, or as soon as the movement is complete. The player whose units are in ambush declares whether he wants his troops to open fire, and the target unit is positioned accordingly. The ambushing player flips the unit's ambush order to fire and resolves the shooting as normal. If the target is not destroyed as a result, then the unit completes its actions with whatever troops remain. Note that a unit cannot usually spring an ambush against units that are not making an advance or run action. Alright? A unit cannot usually spring an ambush against units that are not making an advance or run action. Okay, so they've got to be moving basically. The exceptions are targets comprising artillery, crewmen moving from gun to gun, and tank crews abandoning their vehicle as described in the sections on artillery. That's on later on. Firing against a unit in ambush. If a unit in ambush is shot at, it can react by going down just like a unit that has not yet taken an action. In this case, the order die is flipped to show that unit is down and is therefore no longer in ambush. This is an exception to the rule stating that a unit can go down if it has not yet received an order. This allows for the state of readiness of ambushing troops. Okay. Target takes casualties. For every hit that scores damage, the target unit loses one man as a casualty. Casualties represent soldiers stunned, wounded, or killed in action. They may be dead or temporarily incapacitated. Either way, they are out of action and the model is removed. The player whose unit has taken casualties normally chooses which men to remove. This obviously means that casualties will fall amongst the most expendable men first. For example, riflemen rather than machine gunners and squad leaders. That's the reason, doesn't it? In reality, if a squad's machine gunner were to be shot, one of his comrades would take over the weapon. Oh, I see. Yeah. So it is entirely reasonable to remove ordinary targets as ordinary troopers as casualties first. Right. Okay. So it's just saying that if in reality, if a machine gunner was shot, one of the other troops would take over that role. So it's perfectly reasonable to pick out the crappier ones first, as it were. Exceptional damage. When a 6 is rolled to score damage, before any modifiers are applied, roll that die again, and if a further 6 is rolled, the shoot scores exceptional damage. This means the shooter picks which model falls casualty rather than his opponent. This represents the fact that someone, it's the Sarge who gets it, or that a machine gun can jam or be jammed beyond repair. For example, exceptional damage allows the opposing player to remove a squad's NCO, reducing its morale value by -1. Alternatively, the player might choose to remove a model carrying a particular weapon, such as the squad's light machine gun or a Panzerfaust. If the target is a weapons team, for example a bazooka or medium machine gun team, then exceptional damage indicates that the weapon itself has been damaged or rendered inoperable in some fashion, so remove the weapon and its firer as a casualty. Okay, then you got to check morale. Target checks morale. If a target loses half or more of its men from the fire of one enemy unit, then the player makes an immediate morale check. This is just the same as an order test, and all modifiers that apply to an order test also apply to a morale check. If the unit passes the check, then there is no effect and it continues to fight on as normal. If the morale check is failed, the unit's nerve has broken and the troops run for their lives, scatter or surrender to the enemy. In any case, the unit is removed from the game and counts as destroyed, just as if it had been completely wiped out by enemy fire. Blah blah blah. Okay, and then we go on to weapons. So weapons is the next one. I won't be doing any more of the rules today. I want to get this tank built. I think the video is dragging on long enough as it is. So okay, so what do we need then? We need section 33, which is just about to fall off the sprue anyway, I think. Okay, so we need that. We need the gun itself, which is 31. Okay. So I'm just looking at what I need here. 16 as well. Well, no, let's do the turret thing, so that can always be finicky, can't it? 26 and 25. Do not glue part 25 to part 31. Oh yeah, the gun. If you wish to have the gun barrel elevate. 31 directly to 26 instead. Right, well, let's have a look first, see what's going on here. I don't remember it saying that on the German one, I just had to figure it out. Doing these models is making me want to get back into bolt action more again. See, every game you play, isn't it? You want to get into it more. Right. Citadel mold line remover. Awesome piece of kit this is. Wouldn't be without it. I must say this is a better gun than most, from a model perspective. So a lot of them are long and thin, and obviously this doesn't have the range. Right, do not glue 25 to 31. Glue 31 directly to 26 instead. Oh right, well. It's the gun, there's another gun there, isn't there? This is the tricky bit, you see. That probably goes that way, yes it does. Right. I don't suppose it really matters about elevating the darn thing, does it? goes in there. So I'm just trying to work out how this goes. It does seem as if, you know, oh, right, I see. Sorry guys, I'm trying to work this out. Do not glue part 25 to part 31 if you wish to gammas. To elevate, glue 31 directly to 26 instead. Directly to 36 instead. This doesn't make a lot of sense here, I've got to say. Then what? So that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Hi guys, I'll have to figure this out. Hang on a moment. Hi guys, back again. Sorry about that. There was a bit of confusion the way the gun turret went, and it's all to do with bad wording, really. Well, here it is. Just got to wait for it to dry a bit in a lot of places now. So, my Sherman just needs to be painted up. And I've got a tank for my American force, so yippee! Glad I got that done. Hope you got something done. So we're on to weapons next on the rules. So that'll be the next section we cover. And yeah, we're about a third of the way through the rule book now, so all is good. Oops. Always get the wrong way. Yeah, so like I say, hope you got something done on the bolt action front. Thought it was a bit stop and start and everything else, but yeah, we've got this one done now. Our M4 Sherman tank, it's all assembled, and yeah, it feels a lot better with the coins in it, weighing it down, much better. So that's another model assembled that's going to be haunting me to, or begging me to paint it. So yeah, till next time guys, all brushes lead to war.